So week 2.
Yeah.
And
week 2.
What are we up to today?
Trees, as promised. And we're just going to start off with first part of the session, breaking trees down into their sort of basic shapes.
Because there's lots of different types of trees.
Lots of different types of trees.
So it's quite... So are these trees the ones that you've seen in the park? Are these from your memory? Or
No, so these are taken from photographs that I took on my one exercise a day around the park.
Yeah.
And so I've got some images from these. So I'm just...
And you're working from those images loosely?
Yeah, just loosely. So what I'm doing is I'm just looking at their basic overall shape. All right. And so some you can...
So really breaking them down
really,
into basic form.
Yeah, right down.
Almost lollipop stick.
Lollipop-esque, yes.
Yeah.
To start with, anyway. I'm doing this much darker than you probably would need to do.
So what are you using?
So I'm using charcoal, and we're going to use charcoal today. Just to start with, I thought it'd be...
Are there different types of charcoal, or just...
There are lots of different types of charcoal.
Yeah.
I'm just using a piece of willow charcoal to start with.
Okay, so quite soft.
Because it's very soft, and also it rubs out quite nicely.
And quite easy to get the marks down, I'm guessing.
Look, even just with a cloth, you can see that comes out quite easy there.
Yeah.
All right. So
you've got like a taller one, a flatter triangle.
And then you've got ones that you could break down into sort of shaped.
Your big fluffier trees.
Big fluffy trees, maybe a big sort of oak type.
Okay, that's quite good to...
Your oak trees.
See, I wouldn't have seen them in that way with the circles before, but now you've done it, it makes sense.
Yeah, so you can see the difference in the type of trees. Over the park, we've got these really lovely sort of tall...
Quite an eclectic mix of trees over the park, isn't there,
Honestly,
actually?
It's like a serious arboretum over there.
Okay,
It's a fancy
so...
word, isn't it?
It was fancy, to be honest, I don't really know what it means. That's why I didn't say anything.
Yep, so it's a real collection of trees. So I'm just...
You're going to add the willow in there?
I am going to add the willow on as
Classic.
yeah.
The willow's been at the park for years.
It has, and actually it's lost in the wind yesterday. The one of the big branches blew off.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. Also, we've got these lovely big... I'm just going to move it that way a little bit so that we don't run out of space.
Just going to move around.
We've got these really lovely big sort of pine trees which have all this stuff at the top, but they're really tall trees. And of course, let's get to our willow right at the end here.
You can really see the different types of trees actually just from the shapes.
Yeah, hopefully. That's the... You can have those bits at the top there.
So do you want people to focus on having a go at different trees,
yes.
or
let's try and...
Or focus on one particular tree?
Well, I think to start with, have a look at some images of different types of trees, so that you can really have a look at them and just see the different shapes.
Get used to the different shapes.
Yeah.
So sort of technique 1 is understanding and breaking down the trees into shapes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And then the next part of it is to look at the branches and the way that they grow, the direction that they grow in.
Yeah, because some of them can go all over the place.
Yeah, but this time of the year is brilliant for that, because obviously, a lot of trees don't have any leaves, so we can observe them quite well. So you'll get some that will actually grow sideways like this.
And you're using the side of the
I am just
charcoal there, aren't you?
Yeah, because I want to get this down really quickly, just to...
I quite like that though, because it means you're not sort of too precious about where you're putting those lines, which gives, I think, a better effect.
We don't want to be too precious at this stage. I don't want people to worry about it.
See, I'd be worrying, and that's what's quite nice. Yeah, I would, because you get a bit like, oh, where shall I put this and
No.
what do I do? Yeah, you do though. So I quite like the fact that you're working quickly
Oh, well, with
to
this,
get that down.
yeah, well, with
and
this,
then
it
you
doesn't
can sort of-
matter, you know, because you can, if it's wrong, you can rub it out, or, you know, don't worry about it. So I know that this one, it's the bottom.
So they're
the
pointing
bottom
up a little bit
branches
more, aren't
are
they?
more at the side, but they sort of round
Curving.
and curve up. You know, this one here, just make sure you're connecting up to these shapes. And just, yeah.
Yeah. So really looking at the direction that they're coming off in. Yeah.
Okay.
Lots in that one pointing upwards.
Lots starting to point upwards. Yeah. There we go. And this one I know is rounded as well.
So similar to that second one.
Similar to this one, yeah. Just as a slightly different shape up round the top here.
In just the sense that it curves round more.
Curves round at the top there. So again, that's all because the branches are starting to point upwards towards the top.
I want to see the willow tree one.
You want to see the willow? Okay, well, I'm getting to the willow, Lucy. Very quickly. Let's do the pine first, shall we? What we'll do in the next part of the video is that we will look at how the branches disappear behind, in and out of the leaves and things. We'll look at that in a bit. Alright, so, but very basic. And the willow, Lucy.
Yeah.
Alright, so I know this is your, and we know,
So completely different with the willow.
completely different, because as we know, we get these big stems, but when we get these lovely branches that fall down like this. And I'm just looking at my images over there just to keep an eye out on where things are going. I'm going to do this really quickly. Alright. Okay, so hopefully this just gives people a rough idea of how our trees get made up. Right, so they all look very different. Branches are going different ways. So this is the first part of the session, is to think about that, observe the trees, get some images. Let's do, I've done what, 2, 4, 6, 7 different trees here, but let's have, half a dozen different trees
Different trees.
and have a play.
Okay. Fab.
Okay.